I don't think that we can watch this whole thing. It's an hour and 20 minutes called Internal Affairs iDubbbz, but we'll watch a little, okay? Because again, I just don't think I have the strength.
What up? That is the BIOS of one of the biggest commentary channels, one of the biggest police officers on YouTube. Some of you may know him as iDubbbz. I know him as Ian. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, he's done a pretty good job back in the day of going after some of the most problematic creators on YouTube. People like Leafy is Here, Keemstar, Tanamangjo, and most importantly, that React channel epidemic. But in amongst all of that, he did things like Kickstarter craps, he looked at shitty projects people made, he went above and beyond the Call of Duty when it came to being a police officer. He even did bad unboxings. Now, he was at a time one of the best police officers, and I would say recently his conduct has been a little bit unbecoming, which is entirely what Internal Affairs is all about. We're here to check in on what's been going on with Officer iDubbbz. Now, since Ian has actually left the police force, he has decided to mature. Instead of fusing two slurs together, he's making interesting documentaries. He's over-explaining his support of OnlyFans. And, of course, one of my personal favorites is, as an officer of the force, discovering empathy at the ripe, young, tender age of 31.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy.
It is such a red flag and projection when people don't understand what Ian means when he talks about gaining real empathy at 30. And it's because they think that empathy is feeling bad or feeling for people in your immediate life, in your immediate circle. Like your mom gets diagnosed with some illness, your friend gets hit by a truck, and then you feel bad. And that's what they think. They think like, I'm empathetic. I feel bad when bad things happen to my friends. That's not what empathy is. Empathy is like, it's more than that. It's being able to feel for people and put yourself in their shoes, even people who you would never be able to understand. Like, I feel genuinely bad for every single person who was convinced that vaccines are dangerous. Every single one of these poor bastards that gets in these stores and is like coughing and is like, I'm not going to wear a muzzle. I feel bad for these people. Like, and I feel sadness for them. I feel sadness for their like family members, their kids who they are not vaccinating.
And it's driving me crazy.
It's driving me crazy. Bethany, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Thank you. Like, because man, that must, if I was to put myself in your shoes, that must genuinely suck that you have been convinced by Fox News or by whatever other fucking news organization that you listen to or talk show host that you listen to, that vaccines don't work and they're dangerous. That's the saddest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. You've been duped by people who are vaccinated to not get vaccinated. And this is the type of person that I would not agree with on anything. That chances are they have very conservative values. They listen to mostly Fox News. They think that like you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and people who need help shouldn't be getting the help because they should work hard. Huge survivorship bias. Like fundamentally, we are different people. They think immigrants are bad. Like on every issue that matters, we do not see eye to eye. And I still feel empathetic towards these people who are catching COVID and nearly killing themselves or killing themselves because they were convinced by some evil piece of shit bastard that they shouldn't get vaccinated. That's what Ian is talking about when he talks about empathy. He's not talking about your ability to be nice to the people that you're supposed to be loyal to, which is, as you might imagine, Ethan's idea of what empathy is. Which is why he says there's like that really iconic clip of, I don't think relationships are transactional. I just think that like, if you're my friend, you should be doing this. Is that so much to ask for? It's like, do you hear yourself, dude? Holy shit.
Just like can't help myself.
Real talk though. Chatter says, I didn't truly understand what empathy was until my early 30s as well, due to being a white guy from the upper middle class family. I didn't really understand how to empathize until I got out in the world and interacted with people beyond the superficial social interactions as an adult. Social conditioning is a generic centrist white family. America leaves a lot of room for growth. Yeah, well, and that's why I think minorities have a much easier time connecting and understanding with other minorities. Whereas if you're in the intersection, there's a really good video that I always reference from FT Signifier about the intersection of whiteness and maleness. And when you are part of this group, and then, oh God, if you're lucky/unlucky enough to also be well off, like your parents are well off, you have such a privileged lifestyle. You don't have to worry about finances. You don't have to worry about like racism. You don't have to worry about sexism. You don't have to, like, none of these things are happening to you. And it's a lot harder to understand, oh, wait, the world is actually fucked up when your life has been so good. And it's a lot easier to attribute your success and your the benefits that you receive in life to your actions. When in reality, yes, but also you didn't have to jump through any hoops. You got to just like run on the track. And other people have to jump over these hurdles to be able to even have the same quality of life that you get to enjoy. I feel genuine empathy for the H3 cult members, even the active ones, not the infiltrators, the real ones. I feel bad for Mutahar because he's genuinely stupid. Oh yeah, I do. Same.
Self, but like feel for other people's pain and suffering.
iDubbbz, safe to say, doesn't actually have the same rapport with the former community, the commentary community, and has for the last few years been ingratiating himself towards a new, more politically charged community. But the department actually is more interested with some of the charitable works that Mr. Jama has actually decided to side with, notably Creator Clash. Now, charity to me is a personally important thing. I think it's great to give back money to.
Oh my fucking god, dude. Mr. Jama, dude, shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think Mutahar is a weird case of a pick-me. He has to pander to gamers who hate him on a racial level. He literally said that he had to get off of Twitter because he couldn't handle how many anti-Indian memes there were. And somehow, someway, he's like, well, I'm going to keep pandering to these people, obviously. Chatter says, so I know doxing is bad, but is doxing Nazis bad? Listen, I don't Fed post, so I have to tell you that doxing is always bad. What I will say is, I think that there is a limit to how much empathy you should allow yourself to have. And at a certain point, you have to turn the empathy faucet off for heinous people. Like, I can feel empathetic towards the type of person that gets radicalized. Like, I can imagine the type of, like, loner white guy, like the Elliot Rodger, that gets radicalized by the internet or by neo-Nazi groups to go and shoot up a school. And I can feel for that person and be like, damn, you just got tricked into destroying your life and killing yourself. But at some point, you have to turn the faucet off because you can't tolerate intolerance. And for people who are saying they want to change and they make genuine efforts to change, you should give them the opportunity. But when someone is exclusively only committing harm and they have made no efforts to change as a person, you just have to turn the faucet off. You have to say, I can't. I can't.
To impoverished communities, medical causes.
Like Nick Fuentes. Like, there's no amount of empathy that's going to fix Nick Fuentes. Besides the fact that he has a financial incentive to continue engaging the way that he engages.
That desperately need progress, and of course to just help the fellow man. Charity is a way for all of us, no matter what our financial situation is in life, to help channel something in a positive sense. Charity is important in making progress, raising awareness, and most importantly, serving as the best criticism shield to any vanity project ever. Like Creator Clash 2, for instance, where having trauma processing parties with full entertainment, open bars, hotels completely rented out to influencers, all on the dime of people who donated, thinking that the lion's share of that money would go towards the causes that get listed at all these events, only to find out that these charitable events didn't actually donate any money to charity, at least when it came.
Also, there's something like unbelievably tone deaf about insulting Ian for saying that he has learned more about empathy and what empathy actually looks like, and then being the least empathetic piece of shit you can be. When Ian and Anissa have said close to nothing about Mutahar. Like, there is no effort to be empathetic to, like, I can't imagine, chat, just like for 2 seconds, something that Mutahar is clearly incapable of doing. I'd like all of you to engage in this exercise. Imagine you put together this amazing charity event, you raise $1 million, and everybody's like, do another, let's go, encore. And you're like, okay, sure, let's do one more Creator Clash, let's fucking go. And, you know, your team is like, okay, well, we think a bigger venue is a good idea. You know, we can plan out this, we can have like a little gala for like all the fighters afterward, you know, to help celebrate like how much effort they put in. And with how successful the last event was, we think that this is a good idea. And all of Ian talks about it in his video, which maybe I'll open for a quick secchi. And then maybe with all of this extra flair, we can get even more advertising and have an even bigger Creator Clash 3. And then the event doesn't raise enough money. And then you're sitting there footing the bill for like hundreds of thousands of dollars because you didn't anticipate millions of people pirating your event because they didn't pirate it last time. And all you wanted to do was help with charity. You're like, I just want to run an event that makes money for charity and is fun to participate in. I can't imagine the situation I would be in or like how I would feel in that moment. Like, I think I would be on the brink. I think I would be like on the brink. And make 34% of the proceeds. You know, you're just like lying, right? They didn't make any money off of Creator Clash 2. Your boy Ethan Klein even said so. Someone, please, pull up the clip of Ethan Klein saying, you guys didn't make any money off of Creator Clash 1 and 2? What the fuck? You guys should be making money. Someone, come on, pull it up. Maybe he'll be convinced by Lord and Savior Ethan Klein. Imagine being a sad troll. It's just pathetic. Can we please? What is this ad? Okay. I don't even know what I would look for to find this. Dude, no shot. You guys are so good at finding clips. Holy. You guys are fucking cracked. And Chatter, you're gonna eat your words, right? If you're proven wrong.
We had you guys on after the first event, though. I said, you guys gotta make money. Have you not changed anything since then?
Maybe next year we've talked about taking a salary next year because it is more than a full-time job. I mean,
Did you guys not take a salary at all?
No, not last year. This year I don't think we will. I don't know. It won't be a big one if we do. It's on par with every other, employee. It's kind of at the top-ish, but I don't know. We got to look at some numbers and stuff before we make a decision on that.
Yeah. We just got to figure it out. It's, I mean, we're not in any financial trouble. It's just, obviously, I get to take this, year off, so we'll be fine.
We'll just start grinding.
We'll focus on YouTube and other things.
But next year we'll take we're reworking the framework, so our coworkers are making us take a salary next year, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
he left. Aw, look. It's just so weird that facts are just never on Ethan Klein's side. That's just so bizarre. It must just be a crazy anti-Semitic coincidence.
To Creator Clash 2.
What the hell are we gonna do? I can't even think about doing a Creator Clash 3. We lost money and there's no money for charity. So what are we gonna do to solve that?
Now, I've covered plenty of charities in the past, supported by influencers who had a pretty clear, clean image that turned out to either be crypto scams or, at worst, money stockpiles that remained losing value until one of my investigations contributed to hundreds of thousands of dollars finally heading to where it was supposed to be headed years down the road. Now, I personally feel, though, Creator Clash may not only be one of the worst tragedies in charitable fundraising by content creators, but also one that turned into something malicious down the road the more and more that it progressed. So let's get started.
So if charity is important, do we know any charities Mudahar is engaged in? I couldn't find anything during my quick search, but I may be mistaken. No, you don't understand. He agrees with charity as like a concept in the way that he agrees that like you should boycott the Switch 2 as like a concept. But like actually doing it, well, that's a different story. Don't be crazy. Come on.
iDubbbz, also known as Ian Jama, the husband of Anissa Jama, both these people were the initial faces of Creator Clash.
She looks so adorable with the pixie cut. Dude, I wish I could rep a pixie cut. I'm like, I feel like I'd have like bowl head. I'd have like watermelon head.
Known as Ian Jama, the husband of Anissa Jama, both these people were the initial faces of Creator Clash, alongside a Mike Lenardi,
Denims, I know it's pride, but stay focused here.
a co-organizer, and it started out pretty positively. Like the first event came around May 14, 2022, hosted by Ian, his wife. Event was managed by Egoraptor, or Aaron Hansen's company, Real Good Touring, who also actually fought in two of these events. Now, Creator Clash wanted a pretty healthy set of fighters. Big channels like Dr. Mike, Ian himself was fighting, Michael Reeves, fan favorites like Dad would show up delivering pretty interesting fights. The community as a whole on the internet rallied behind it, and by all metrics, I would say it was a pretty successful event. It was hosted in the Youngling Center in Tampa, Florida, and CC1 sold over 100,000 pay-per-view buys, and tons of influencers and their fans showed up. And from what I understand, that arena they rented was actually sold out, which is, again, amazing. From a charity perspective, the American Heart Association, the Alzheimer's Association, and the Healing Horse Therapy Center received all the net profits, according to a press release, to the tune of a combined $1.3 million. Now, it's also worth pointing out that the Healing Horse charity actually did belong to Aaron's mother. Now, that by itself isn't a major issue, but generally speaking, I don't like it personally when one of the people involved in the entire organization of the event is actually related to somebody receiving any disbursement of funds. I feel conflicts like that shouldn't ever be possible in the first place. But again, to go back to the event, iDubbbz even had to say that when it came to the event, these creators want to show respect to boxing while putting on an entertaining show that reflects their personalities, said iDubbbz. It was really important to us that creators took this experience seriously, and let me tell you, they absolutely have. They've been training for months, and we can't wait to show you what they can bring to the table. Influencer boxing has previously been very money-driven, and our goal is to bring attention back to the sport while delivering fun and interesting personalities for an all-around great show for some great causes. Now that sounds like a great PR answer, but this clip that I found on the H3 podcast, I think really
Guys, I found this clip in this from this very unbiased source, so you can trust it.
kind of shines a different light into why I think Ian and Anissa actually cared about doing this event. And it doesn't sound as altruistic as one would expect. I really do feel that for both of these people, it almost was a way for them to ingratiate themselves with the community, to basically have a yearly event that would bring influencers together and effectively keep them almost perma-relevant down the road, right?
If it works out, then we can do that, and there could always be a charity aspect to it. But I think the main goal is just to get the people paid who are involved in making it happen, rather than like making exorbitant amounts of money.
So your goal is to build an institution of sorts, this creator clash, where you can have
it's
people.
fun.
There's a champion every year.
It's a party.
Interesting.
It's like
super
a
stoked to
way more exciting VidCon, or like I want
Interesting.
it to be like influencers can like care about this and fans can care about this and like you can go
Interesting.
watch it and have like a build up, like maybe
How fried and like deep into the discourse do you have to be and biased do you have to be to think that this clip makes them look bad?
parties before and like stuff like
Yeah, because
that.
we've gone to like the last Jake Paul event, and it was crazy the amount of influencers that were there, excited to see it. They weren't all my cup of tea.
Sure.
But it was exciting. Everyone wanted to be there. It was fun, and I think if we can harness some of that, but have it be even more exciting, because all of our fighters are mystery fights. You don't know how it's going to go, and then you have this, charity element. It's just like a win all around.
So in the future, maybe there'll be more profits potentially for you guys.
Potentially, but we're not
Yeah.
looking at that
Yeah.
really.
Would you?
Now, one thing
He
that
literally said, why did you show this clip, Mudahar? He literally says in the very first minute of the clip, by the way, I don't want to do this event to generate enormous amounts of money. That's not why I want to do it. I want to do it and make sure the fighters get paid. That's really important to me, that the people putting in months of their life training, tens of hours a week training, I want to make sure that they get like a payout from this. Like it's only fair to them that they put in so much effort into this event that couldn't exist without them, and that they get paid fairly for it. Especially having spoken to and watched some content creators talk about their experience fighting in these events, they have to take away so much time from their stream, their YouTube, their like all of the content creation normally that they do, because they're spending so much time training, spending so much energy and like spoons, either gaining weight or losing weight. And people who've done one or the other, you know how much time and energy goes into like, okay, I have to track all my food now. Oh, I want to go out for dinner with friends, but like, will it be too much food? Will it not be enough food? Like, all of the time and energy that these boxers put in to help put together this amazing event. Oh my God, the horror. There's a clip where Ian says,
People paid who are, but I think the main goal is just to get the people paid who are involved in making it happen, rather than like making exorbitant amounts of money.
So you're
why would you put this clip in here? This is not a good clip that proves your point. Making fight weight is also harder than just gaining or losing as well. Oh yeah, because like you want to be gaining muscle and losing fat. You can't just go full Ozempic and just like not train. I never showed it because we were talking about other stuff and we haven't really covered Ethan at all. But I figured, it's a fun shit Saturday. We should enjoy ourselves a little bit. There was that clip of Ethan saying that like he went to the doctor and the doctor said his body's atrophied to fuck. Do you guys see the one that I'm talking about? I don't know if maybe people didn't see this. Wait, someone linked it? Hold up.
Well,
after this burger.
the best motivator for me is my doctor being like,
This is
"You have
terrible.
atrophy.
You're pathetically weak.
You have the skeletal muscle structure of someone who's been in
baby.
a coma for 5 years."
I probably do too. I was trying to get a glass from like the top shelf earlier today. I was like, why do I have some like workout, soreness?
Oh
and I was
my
like, what did I
God.
do? What did I do yesterday? And I realized why I had sore.
Oh shit!
Wow.
I accidentally got my fire alarms going yesterday, and I was waving a plastic lid to get rid of the smoke
You ever get DOMs from waving a plastic lid?
from the fire
That
alarm.
made you sore?
And I'm realizing that's the only physical thing I did yesterday. So that made my arm sore. I'm like, oh, damn.
All right,
yeah.
that's probably
And
time.
It's time.
the good
Probably
thing is
time.
that it's going to be really easy for us to put on some muscle.
I think so, yeah.
You start, yeah.
I used to work out a lot.
exercising
The
to
increase is
failure
going to
every
be
time.
amazing.
Yeah.
I used to work out a lot back in Sweden, so I have the underlying.
And you moved to America, and what happened?
Is it in here?
There you go.
I don't exercise my back pain. For
I
me, it was
didn't
my
say
back
that.
pain. If I don't exercise, my back pain is like immediately
Right, that's,
showing.
That's
When I
that's a big
exercise,
part for
it's
me
gone.
too. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. You just
It's
got to build
all,
up some
like,
muscles back
muscle.
there to
Yeah.
support yourself better.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys that those Fairlife milkshakes are 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. It's a little drink.
Anyways, he just talks about how his doctor is telling him that here's additional. Oof. What is
Thank
this?
What?
You guys are really
We got you a new mug for the big
looking
boss.
after me here.
Oh my
the big
god.
boss.
What is this thing?
Oh my god. Let me try my dominant hand.
What?
Well, Lena just carried it in. Should be no problem for you, right?
Lena just carried it in.
balance.
Because she's worthy.
She's been training.
The wrist power required to lift.
Yeah,
Why
you do
give
have
me this mug.
small, gentle.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. There it is.
Oh my god. Go ahead, love.
God, it's like I can't. I think it's just because I have tiny hands, you know.
Hey, you did it.
What do you mean? Let me try with my lefty.
You want a second hand, yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Go, love. Whoa!
Oh my god.
Okay, Dan, what do you have to say? What? Wait!
No shot. He's gonna drink it. You got a sip?
I got a sip.
it's a 15-pound mug.
There you go. There's
Okay,
that
rock
mountain climbing
climbing.
right there. The mountain climber's grip right there.
This is defamation, dude. This is defamation. Giving whoever was in charge of buying that mug, they are active. Ethan, the person who bought that mug is actively trying to defame you.
Anyone else want to give
Lena?
it a yank?
With two hands.
I
Yeah.
was like, what are you doing? This is more my pace.
This is a terror mug. This is a terror mug. Anyways,
Whoever bought that mug is an Semitic.
Your goal is to build an institution of sorts.
Affairs. Now, one thing we love to do with internal affairs is look through documentation. So we decided to go to ProPublica, go through their nonprofit explorer, and we actually did find the Healing Horse Therapy Center right here. It's actually a 501c charity, and if you want to know,
they bought this mug apparently. What the 22-pound heavy mug. Potentially heavy for some. All right.
a rough idea of how much they kind of received from Creator Clash, well, we can open up some of their filings and look at them really closely. So for instance, in 2022, when Creator Clash was a thing, you can actually open up the 990 filing over here, and if you scroll all the way to the contributions and grants, the prior year they actually received somewhere around 3,958, as opposed to the year of Creator Clash 1, they actually ended up receiving over $250,000. Now, the thing is, when you pull up the 990 filings over here, if we go to just 2014, one of the interesting things that come out of this is you can kind of get a rough idea of how much Creator Clash actually did contribute. Now, at this point, you can see in 2020, the actual charity gets $87,000, probably from a different event. And of course, in 2021, the charity ends up getting $3,958. Then, of course, when Creator Clash 1 happened, you can see that they actually got a massive spike. They went down, eventually to the point receiving like, what, $75 in just 1 year when it came from public support. Now, the thing about all this is, going back to the 2020 filings, the 2022 filings, I actually couldn't find any mention of Creator Clash as a company. Which I think kind of sucks, because it shows me that these forms are probably not filled out well at all, if anything, which, I don't know, the more I look into a lot of these charities, the more I realize that the paperwork could be a lot better. But you know what? The reason why we looked into this was also just to see that there was money being sent out. And of course, when I looked further into these actual charities, at least with Aaron's mom's charity, it didn't seem like they were paying themselves what appeared to be exorbitant salaries. They just took money in and they spent it on obviously dealing with horse therapy stuff. So again,
here's all this research I did that proves that they weren't scamming people.
It seems pretty much on the up and up. Money was actually given, and the only reason I checked this was because when we go down the road, it's going to be really hard to believe what Ian and Anissa, and really a lot of people associated with the event, actually say. There's a lot of conflicting information, and as an officer, I don't like to look at conflicting information, okay, because there's a fuck ton of stupid people in the room, and I
just noticed he's wearing a blazer over his zip-up hoodie. I'm gonna be sick.
Not to be one of them, okay? I make mistakes, but I try to look at the data as much as I can. So anyways, to go down over here, the first event was actually successful. Charities got money, and all in all,
the Tim Pool School of Fashion
was actually a pretty serious win for Ian and Anissa in terms of it just being a good overall event. I mean, I didn't have any issues with it. One would think if this is how good the first event was, theoretically, Creator Clash 2 should absolutely be a success. Until, of course, it isn't. Now, Creator Clash 2 was announced January 24, 2023, and it was poised to happen at a bigger venue this time, Emily Arena, and once again in the city of Tampa, Florida. So iDubbbz once again was set to fight this time with Alex Wasabi. Harley would join, and he would fight an actual heavyweight, John Morrison, and Dad would fight AB from the H3 podcast. So one of the fights was set to be against Tyler Cassidy, also known as Froggy Fresh. Of the Krispy Kreme fame, he made a bunch of songs on the internet. Guy's an old school OG YouTube legend. Now, Froggy was supposed to be fighting Chris Raygun, and I want you to remember this fight because the controversy surrounding it might have been some of the most promotion this fight was getting for—
He's just like a real cop, harassing people for no reason.
For a while, and all of it was effectively for the wrong reasons. Now, something about fighting promotion and the community that watches these events is that it always centers around some form of drama or conflict, okay? A lot of the biggest bouts on YouTube, at least in this space, have basically resulted from beefs, a lot of them long withstanding, between creators to the point where having them bash each other's brains in for money, which, you know, money at that point just takes a back seat. People love the thrill of just settling this online bullshit in a ring. And the audience is excited for it. I'm sure the creators are excited for it. And if you get paid while you get to beat the shit out of the guy you absolutely have been beefing with for a while, all of it is a win-win. Unfortunately, Creator Clash doesn't really have that ethos. It's first and foremost meant to be about treating boxing, the sport, with respect. And its safeguarding comes first.
The last thing I want to talk about is how serious the sport of boxing is. We've seen a lot of these influencer boxing events just pop up and, to be honest, not take the sport very seriously. In this last event—
Yeah, so far the video has been, now everything they said was the truth, but you shouldn't believe them about anything ever.
We saw guys headbutting each other. We want to avoid this shit at all costs. We're trying to get professional boxing coaches for all of our fighters. We're trying to give them ample time to prepare. We're trying to prepare them mentally and physically for, you know, what they're going to do, because people die in boxing. It's not a goofy thing. Oh, let's try out boxing. It's a serious thing.
Wow, Ian, that's actually such a good point. You know, I would actually believe that you weren't just talking shit out of your ass if it wasn't for the fact that you put Chris Raygun up against William Haynes, who clearly had a height and weight superiority against him. You know, if you really care about the sport of boxing, you probably wouldn't have haphazardly put this matchup last minute after kicking Froggy Fresh out and put Chris in a—
You don't want to talk about why Froggy Fresh was kicked out? No
pretty
comment?
shitty situation. So the big problem with promotion came from the fact that Creator Clash's individual creators—
Oh, we're skipping over that. Yeah, we're skipping over. No comment! We're just gonna skip right past that. That's not relevant. That's not important. No, it can't possibly be because Froggy Fresh decided to align himself with Sam Hyde. Has nothing to do with that. They just kicked him out for funsies, you know, just as a fun little treat.
Actually didn't do a whole lot of promotion.
We also had to pay for more fighters this year. The first year it was 18, this year it was 24. I thought bringing in more fighters would just lead to more pay-per-view buys But I think it just ended up costing us more.
Yeah, Ian thought that just because he put in more fighters on the card that he tweeted out, that somehow that would correlate to more pay-per-view buys, which, again, it shows you that maybe he's just never gotten past the age of, I don't know, 12. But events always do get pirated. And also, you know, if you look into some of the promotional material, like if the actual individual fighters are promoting it, now I don't know if videos were removed or maybe like they posted on alternate networks, but even looking at the main platforms for some of these creators, you know, people like Ethan Nestor definitely had this in the, at least in the description box for their links. And even in that case, like he actually did make videos. The mainline event, Ian versus Alex Wasabi, from what I can find, there's literally one video leading up with like 40,000 viewers, and then the actual video, which would be around fight night or post-release. So I don't want to jump and blame.
Can you believe content creators are hard to manage? It's never, like, no one's ever talked about this ever before in the history of content. Famously, people like Cutie Cinderella have never had people randomly cancel last minute for no reason. Creators are actually all very responsible adults that take their obligations very seriously, and I'm sure that the reason that the promotions didn't go out was because Ian and Anissa said, wait, you want to put a video out on your YouTube channel advertising this event that we're organizing? You are not allowed to do that. I'm sure that's what happened. And it wasn't Ian and Anissa saying, hey, it would be really cool if you uploaded some videos on your channel advertising this. And the creator said, yeah, I'll get to it. And then never got to it. For sure. I'm sure that that's what happened. Okay.
The fighters for not promoting this event enough. Again, if you know anything behind the scenes, there's got to be plans for promotion, like there's got to be timelines that are met, there's got to be deliverables, and if the event itself isn't putting in the effort, how can you expect the fighters or the participants to be doing anything more? They're already busy training for this fight and this event. If you're going to make them promote the event, at least plan the stuff out properly, otherwise then you can't complain when
famously not a single streamer has canceled anything ever before. It couldn't possibly be that they tried to organize this stuff, put deadlines, and then the deadlines didn't get followed, and they were like, okay, all right. He's so preachy as if he's done this before. Yeah. Also, do all of this labor, don't complain about it, and don't make any money off of it. Otherwise, you're just a greedy whore. That's where we're at right now? Okay. Spend more money on promotion, but also, don't take any money. Also, do all of this labor because this is how an event should be run. Because charity is very near and dear to me. That's why I always talk about donating charity and doing charity events. Like, the moral grandstanding is so crazy. And so far, he has yet to show a single clip. It's been 15 minutes and he has yet to show a single clip proving that Ian and Nisa had lied about anything related to Creator Clash. I can't. I just can't, dude. I can't. I think this is enough. I think that's enough. I don't think I have it in me to watch another hour and more of this. Okay? I don't think so. I'm good.